Welcome back to the Three Amigos podcast. I know you've loved having us the last 3 weeks, and we're back with another banger, another episode, another time for you to love on us and be with us in your ears, baby. I'm so excited to be back. As you can tell, I'm in a different spot, I'm in a different area. I might be next to McJam. Some would say, some don't know. I do. He's right there. You'll never see him. But other than that, boys, we've got a controversial list ahead of us. And who better to take us through controversy than our main man, Justin? Take us away, brother.
What's up, dude? I don't know if it's necessarily controversy. I think there's a couple here and there, but I love your intros, Alex. They're always the best. You can always make sure that we're on a path for success during this episode. So thank you, sir. Episode three.
Justin, real quick, have you noticed that Alex is in like a brother kick this evening?
Brother,
During
his
our
brother.
pre-show meeting, think he said brother about 25 times, and he's
My
already
word.
put it in to the episode at least once. So he's definitely feeling a little Hulk Hogan-ish right now. I don't know where that's coming from, but I do love the energy, Alex.
Hey,
Brother
man.
man, always. And let me tell you something.
Okay, I did not mean to set you off on a tangent.
I'm so dead. Hey, you know what? We love the good mood. We love the good vibes. Well, NFL, you guys just know, just put out their top 100 list. You guys got some good players on it. I think me and Chris led our teams with 5 total players. Alex got lucky, man. You got 4. Luckily, you brought one in, and then four. Cardinals. Cardinals, man, got 1 on that list. Hopefully, they'll do better this year and have a couple more the following year. But let's just get in some of the notables. So I'll talk a little bit about Cowboys. First off, I feel like all these were obvious. None of them were cool. But Zach Martin made it within the top 50. We had nobody. Basically, 53rd is the lowest we technically had. We had nobody from basically 54 to 100, which is kind of crazy to me because we have other players like DeMarcus Lawrence that maybe didn't get on this, but
Crash.
Zach Martin, Deron Bland, Michael Parsons, Dak, CD, which I think those are fair because if you're looking at our team, they are definitely like the big dogs of our group. And then I think if Tyron Smith was on there, he would have been on the Jets now. So things like that make sense to me, but I'm happy with it. I think it's weird that Dak is over. Dak had a good season, so I can't say that. But Parsons also had a good season. Uh, the 17 through 15, we basically hold those spots. Those were dope. You know what I mean? I guess we're an average team. That's how we get average games and never made it to playoffs. But Chris, your Lions, man, this is an exciting time for you, isn't this?
It is. I don't think in my entire life 5 Lions players at one time made the NFL top 100 list. Um,
Couldn't
so
break
we
top
got,
20, but it's okay.
you know what, Alex? I don't need your negativity here. This is a positive episode, kind of like your herpes. So we're just going to move on and talk about the positive things with the Detroit Lions, starting with my boy Sam Laporta, who came off like a record-breaking rookie tight end season. I'm so excited to see the leaps that he takes this year. I think he's going to be a huge part of our offense again. He comes in at number 80 as our lowest. And then you got Goff at number 48. I think that's fair. I think he's, obviously one of the good quarterbacks in the league. There's a lot of great quarterbacks in the NFL, like the way things have gone. But I would say he's a relatively good one. I wouldn't put him at elite, but I would say he's good enough to put a ring on his finger. So I think 48 for him, top 100. That's pretty good. And then you got Aiden Hutchinson, another young stud on this team, coming in at 47, and this is the guy that I just know year after year that number is just going to keep dropping. He's going to climb up this list. He's special. And then you got Amon-Ra St. Brown at number 23 at the Jordan number. Guy who plays with a chip on his shoulder. Absolutely. I don't know if you guys saw it today, but he was getting into a little bit of a fight at the Giants practice.
A little bit.
Um, little bit. I love it. I love it. He's another guy who I could see, in the next couple years climbing a bit up this list a little bit further. And then our big guy, Sewell at number 22. We just
I
paid him a shit ton of money.
That's a
worth
little.
it.
I thought he would go higher. Like he'd be a little bit further up because he is one of those elite offensive linemen right now.
Yeah, a lot of people are putting him in the top 3 offensive linemen in the league, so you'd think that'd be a little bit higher with how important the trenches are, but again, this league is just stacked with so much talent that, there's a lot of great guys ahead of him, but I'm very happy just seeing this many Detroit Lions on the top 100 list. I'm so excited.
I'm glad, brother. I'm happy that you had people that you can cheer on this year. I'm a Lions fan.
Good, good, but,
Oh, so
you got a little bit
skip
of
the
an attitude
Steelers.
with
We're
you,
gonna
and
go
it's
on.
just making me snap.
I'm just gonna
Well,
skip the Steelers completely then because he just said he's a Lions fan. So
Yeah,
whoa,
so
we're
we don't
gonna
even
no
need to
longer
discuss
have
that.
a
hey,
Steelers
hey,
fan on this
hey,
podcast.
hey. Okay, so we're gonna start off hot and heavy. 98, big boy up front. Could be his last year. I thought last year was gonna be his last year. Could
Same.
realistically be his last year. So nice to see him there. Fitzpatrick. Cam Hayward, of course, Mr. Hayward up front. Fitzpatrick.
The
Fitzpatrick.
big guy.
Yeah, the big guy. He's huge.
He is.
Fitzpatrick could have, 79 is, I think, a very accurate rating for missing, I think it was like 5 or 6 games throughout the season. So I think he is one of the better secondary players in the league, but missing so many games, you can only do so much. He was, I think, like 34 last year, which is where I would have probably expected him to be if he played all 6 games with him. But 79, I'll take it. Hey, we love that. The new addition, Mr. Patrick Queen. Love seeing a Raven become a Steeler, even when especially when they're that good. I'm excited to see this. Number 60,
Yeah.
64 on the list. That was hype. And the only player in this podcast to break the top 10 year after year after year. I don't want to hear about the injuries. All I want to hear about is the accolades, the amazing TJ Watt. Absolute dog. He gets it done every year. It was a little sad to see Myles Garrett in front of him because the Browns are so shitty and it's just so rude, and he should not have won Defensive Player of the Year. It's okay. We're not mad about it. But stats don't lie. But hey, so I guess the people who vote on the Defensive Player of the Year do. So all I'm saying is number 8, I love it. I love it. TJ Watt, absolutely amazing.
The only reason
So
you
so
guys
actually, that's a typo. They weren't putting him at number 8. They were predicting the amount of games he'll be healthy this season.
I said I
So
don't want to hear it. I said I don't want to hear it. I said I don't want to hear it.
okay,
I don't
sorry.
want. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
okay, you have to admit a little bit that is his name definitely helped him get crack that top 10. And Alex, you know what? We can't not argue with you because you're true. You're still right. You're the only person that made it within the top 10, and he is a solid player, and he will always be a solid player. When he's in the game, he's a difference maker. That's why he is number 8.
He
But still,
he
I
only missed one game last year.
no.
100%. He missed. He missed
I
the.
would put money on this.
It couldn't have been more than 2 games because he
Get our
only
stat guy on.
he got hurt.
He just
No, no, no,
he
no,
just
no.
added to it now.
No, no. He
give me
he
a
got
stat.
hurt. Hold
Everybody
on.
heard. We have
Hold
it
on.
recorded. You said
He
one
got
game.
yeah. He got hurt in the last game of the season, which really fucked us going into the playoffs. McJam will look it up.
Yeah,
But Alex, has he ever had a full season where he's played every single game?
Yeah, but not in the last 3 years.
but still, the other only person I wanted to mention on this is I thought Patrick Queen. I actually love Patrick Queen. I like his style of being a linebacker. I like he's nitty gritty and in the dirt. I thought this was huge for you guys. And at 64, I think he could have been a little bit higher, but you never get.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
One of those things. But what was it, Alex? Was I right? It was more than one. I normally am. You're normally
I'm saying 2 at least.
minimum, bro.
No, because he only had the one injury at the very end. I swear to you.
Tell our stat guy. But
He's looking it up.
speaking of our stat guy, he only had one sad little player.
Buda
McJam.
Baker.
You don't have to jump on because you're looking at some stats. But Buda Baker at 89. What a poor little Cardinals team that whooped on my Cowboys last year. Only had one.
Go down, brother. Go down, brother.
For real.
Go up.
Hopefully this year they have some more. Honestly, I'm so excited they got Marvin Harrison Jr. I hope that Kyler actually plays decent, stops playing Call of Duty, and gets out there and throws the football well to him, and they have a better year because coming from Phoenix, living in Phoenix, you know the Cardinals are better when they have a good fan base when they're better.
He
Yeah.
played every game last year. He got hurt in the last game.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
Alex,
I.
you know what,
That's
dude?
why I was like, he could only have missed one game because he had such a good. Because the only reason I say that is because his stats were so crazy last year, coming off of a pec injury that he missed for 10 weeks. I understand that one was rough last year. The year before
Yeah,
was
that was
rough.
brutal.
That was horrible. It was crazy. He was like, "Oh,
And
my
he
pec,"
played
and
all those games and he still didn't make it in
who
playoffs. You guys,
we made
all
in
the
the
games and he
playoffs.
still
Oh,
didn't
they
make it
made
in.
it in, but they
We
might
made
as
it
well
in.
have not. They didn't
Yeah,
show up.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. Well, we were on our third string quarterback and we had no defense.
Well, I think all our things were pretty fair. There's a couple people here or there that we could have done, but the biggest one right now I think is crazy is everybody's hating that Patrick Mahomes got number 4. I've never heard people be so mad that a really good player made the top 5, but he wasn't number.
Top 4.
Yeah, exactly. He's literally 4th. But a lot of people think he should have been 1, maybe 2 in a lot of these things. And the top
I
5
think
was
so.
actually, to me, a little crazy. So I'll start at 5. At 5, they put Miles Garrett. Respect, the dude's a beast. Then they 4,
Yeah.
Patrick
Shouldn't have
Mahomes.
been there.
3, Christian McCaffrey. Agree. 2, Lamar Jackson. And 1, Tyreek Hill. I think the 5 is it, but I think just maybe the layer of it could have been a little bit different.
Yes. Yes.
I know this is voted on by the players, and Tyreek Dill he had a crazy year last year.
He had like 1,700 yards or something like that. It
And
was
when
crazy.
he was still injured a couple games, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or he
He
did.
was. He
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
So imagine how much more he would have got if he was healthy.
He
Like,
would have broken Megatron's record if he
It
was
was,
healthy.
yeah,
so
it was
But
crazy.
he had an extra game.
yeah, I can understand exactly. This is some of the hard part now with these records being broken. They have extra games, so it's like
Yeah.
it's just naturally going to happen. But I still don't know if I would have put him at number 1. I think arguably Patrick Mahomes is one of the best guys. Like, and it's not. Recently, they pair a lot of Dak stats to Patrick Mahomes, and I think it's unfair because Patrick Mahomes is a winner. Like, he can win football games. Like, he'll get you those crunch
He
time.
can will the team.
Yeah, to me, that's number 1, 2. If that, I love Lamar Jackson. I think he is a freak athlete.
He
3,
should not be above him.
I would put him at 3.
Yeah, I'm
And I
cool
would,
with Lamar being that high. He
Well,
just should
hold
not
on.
be in front of
Are we?
Patrick.
I don't know what they're going off of, but are we going off of like play and like that stuff? Because if we're looking at like who is like the overall better quarterback, it might be Lamar, just because he can run it, he can throw it. He like I know I have a lot of Lamar hate, but he's a good quarterback, and he potentially like he did all that stuff with nobody last year,
yeah.
and like he's able to still do as good as he was. He had a better record. He like they got the number 1 seed. So it's like, yes, Patrick Mahomes deserved to be in the top 4, but it's like, is Patrick Mahomes the number 1 quarterback? Well, this was the only year that they won the Super Bowl that we were like, damn, are they going to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I can agree.
Well, I know what you're going at, but to me, if you're going to be in the list that is considered the best of the best, part of that is playing that well when
But
the
it's only
lights are
for
at
a
their
year. It's
brightest,
only for
when
a
it
year.
matters.
It's only for a
But,
year.
okay,
But
but
it's
when
not
it
playoffs.
mattered,
Is it playoffs too?
Did they
I don't
lose the
think it.
championship game?
it should be. It should be the entire year.
They lose in the championship game, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that still means he's still. I mean, it's just Patrick Mahomes. It's the Chiefs. It's not even like that's the other hard part. It's not just Patrick Mahomes. It's the Chiefs. So again, we can go all
I
over
agree.
1 through 5, and I don't think anybody's gonna have a right or wrong. I think all these players deserve top 5 by far.
100%.
Crazy seasons. I
Except for
think
one.
what's more crazy, Chris?
What's that?
One person can play 4 downs and still make the top 100.
I
Aaron
would
Rodgers
say that that's
at
bullshit.
92. What the fuck is that? Like,
92?
Yeah, if you want to say this is all about just last season and only last season in a vacuum, that dude should not be on the list at all. At
You
all.
know who should be higher than him? Tom Brady. He didn't play it down. Better quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's ridiculous that he is on it playing 4 snaps.
that was definitely a popularity contest at that point, and that's what some of this is, I guess. Really, if it's voted on by the players, it's part of it is popularity because you make it by doing that, right? You're not CD and get you can't be in the 20th, 30th. You have to be with the record year you had last year. So like part of it has to be a little popularity, and that's why people I think are pissed about it. But at the end of the day, too, it's players voted on players, not fans voting on players or
Yeah,
coaches players or stats versus players, right? Because we go their PFF grade and we can figure out who really is 1 through 5. But it doesn't matter because we don't play the game. They play the game. These are who they felt for last year
right.
were dominant players. So
Does Kirk did Kirk
it's
make the
fun to
list?
see these, huh?
Did Kirk make the list?
Probably. I didn't even look.
He
He
shouldn't have.
I
definitely got
mean,
okay.
yeah,
You're
Kirk had
honest,
a
Kirk didn't it, I'd be shook.
81.
That's kind of low,
Mm. Hey, he should be lower.
especially with Achilles injury. You know what I mean? Like, but hey, he did more than Aaron Rodgers, and
Way more. Way more.
Way more. Well, I love
But
the
actually,
oh, he said. Go
actually,
ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
sorry, this is actually huge breaking news that just came across my screen, and it's not going to make you happy, Alex.
So,
breaking news.
The breaking news ish, because it hasn't officially happened. But the rumor is the 49ers have negotiated the frameworks of a trade to send Brandon Ayuk
no,
to either the Browns
no,
or the Patriots.
no.
And it's
There's
up
no
to
way.
Ayuk to accept the terms. The Steelers declined to meet San Francisco's demands, and the Commanders have removed themselves. So it's down to the Browns and the Patriots. Alex, how
He's
do
not
you
getting.
feel about another top 100 player going to the Browns?
He's not. He's not. He's not going to the Browns. If you want to go to the Browns to get paid, they'll pay you to do nothing. I love that. Fucking take their salary cap to do nothing to get thrown to a ball that fucking is.
No, hey. We are a
All right,
positive podcast.
that's my bad. That's my bad. Yeah.
And this is
We
where
know
we
where you were
go
going.
off. Yeah.
All right.
We're getting into the Browns. We can't do this.
Let's go controversy to controversy, and let's talk about one of the most controversial wide receivers that has been playing in the game for a while. This man loves to demand a trade right when things go bad at a team, and that's Stephon Diggs going to the Texans because we're talking about the AFC South right now, baby.
Love it.
Stephon Diggs goes
we
to
can
the
go into this week.
yeah.
I'm pumped. So we
Goes
can
to
talk
the
about the best team first. This is exciting.
yeah, literally the best team that should win this division. And if they don't, can we call it a sophomore slump? No one will know until we actually play some games. But they beefed up their offense. They went out and got Stephon Diggs. No matter what you say about him, he can still catch a ball very well. Whether his drama self wants to do whatever he wants to do. They added a really good running back in Joe Mixon. I hated that he played for Cincinnati. I don't know how that Pierce and like Mixon combo is gonna fit in there. They got out the Nail Hunter, Alshir, and then and Acuna. Did they get him from Akuda? Jeff Akuda from the Lions.
Yeah. But well, no. Technically, he was with the Falcons last year.
Oh.
In between, but yeah, he's from the Lions.
And then they re-signed Dalton Schultz and Noah Brown. So thank you for the write-up, Mr. J, and letting me read this. And
hold on, let's talk about this real
yeah,
quick.
I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna get into
I know
it.
what you're gonna do.
I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna get into it. So let's start at Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon being added to this already talented offense.
Scary.
Yeah.
Some would say scary good.
They have Tank Dell, Nico
Mhm.
Collins, Stephon Diggs, Noah Brown, who is at some places a third wide receiver. He's sitting at number 5 or 4 at this point. Dalton Schultz at tight end. 2 backfields of Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce, who are both hard-headed runners. Like, I know Joe Mixon's been kind of injury prone, but so has Dameon Pierce. But Dameon Pierce had that rookie year; he just blew up. And then they add Cam Akers, who is like injury prone, yes, coming off these Achilles tears, but I think at the end of the day, less work. Maybe he has better season, better production. But like, guys, this offense could be a top 5.
The only thing that
Easy.
this offense
Easy.
requires is CJ Stroud to not have a sophomore slump. Is he going to be able to play the same way I think he is, but is he going to be able to play the same way as he did last year to this year? They had but they had also zero expectations, brand new head coach,
Right.
brand new quarterback.
No film tape on him.
No film. All these receivers were so new. Nico Collins was the veteran in the receiver core. It was like like, what do we got? And now you add these pieces, rightfully so. And I think it was a great decision to add all these pieces to the team. But
Yeah.
it's just going to come down to, can CJ Stroud continue to play as well as he did last year in the NFL? I think he can, but I think that's really what this team's going to come down to. CJ Stroud handling the ball, getting it to the right people.
Dude, I agree 110%. Especially because here's the thing: that team had a lot of what ifs. What if this? Or are they going to be good? Maybe this, maybe that. Exceeded expectations. Now they have these high ass expectations, and they have these really solid players that they keep adding to their team and re-signing. You guys, this team could be an AFC contender, and it's crazy. Like 2 years removed from literally having one of the worst seasons ever. Like we talked about rebuilding last week with some teams. This is a rebuild that happened like
Crazy
that.
rebuild.
This is what
Yeah,
commanders are trying to do. Like,
exactly. It's what the Bears are trying to do.
yeah. And I know we'll get in them later, but I guys easily this team. We can go through the rest of them, but this
Yeah,
team's
and then this defense with Ryan was already freaking scary with him at the helm of it, like doing that stuff. But then to add Hunter,
on the
crazy.
Yeah,
defensive side of
I was
Anderson.
pissed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then you can speak on him, but Mr. Jeffrey left your team last year, went to the Falcons. We learned about that already in the podcast. What do you think about him, Christopher?
So he was really really good at Ohio State, lockdown at Ohio State, so we grabbed him as the Lions early in the first. I want to say he was like the fourth overall pick when we grabbed him, and this was
Wow,
during the Matt Patricia Bob Quinn era, just dog shit era
which we
of the
love,
Lions.
right?
Oh no, absolutely not. And so he went through an adjustment period, obviously, to adjust to the NFL. And while he was going through that, he got injured. And then the next year, I think he got injured again. Like he just couldn't stay healthy for us. And so it prolonged his development into being a top corner in the league. I think he stayed healthy all last year with the Falcons, which was really good. And I think he played pretty decent. Obviously enough to earn a new contract with another team. Um, so I think he's got a lot of potential. Like I said, he was scary good at Ohio State. Um, so we'll just see if he can get back to that and stay healthy
Well, D'Amico
Yeah, I
Ryan can
think.
do anything to anybody.
Yep,
for
this
sure.
guy. That's 100% the team to beat in this division. Let's talk about a team that has all upside and has no expectations. They're the Houston Texans of last year, the Colts. They have their rookie
Yeah.
quarterback coming back, starting his second year, basically his rookie year. We got flashes of him, but it's like I think he played what 4 or 5 games, maybe.
I think four.
Like, yeah, nothing crazy. We drafted Mitchell from Texas, supposedly good. I'm reading the notes. Okay. Pittman. Pittman was franchise tagged, which is good and bad, right? Receivers, it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing for him. Jonathan Taylor, if he can play and won't hold out again this year,
That's not an issue this year, but
yeah, we'll be good.
staying healthy will be.
And then yeah,
In the future, I'm just gonna write you paragraphs because that
please
just
and thank
makes
you.
you easier.
And
If you
then
You have to
Alex,
write
how
him a
about this?
monologue.
yeah, and then Quentin
You get me
Nelson.
into this, I'll run it, and then we'll talk
Nope,
about
hold
it.
on. I got this. This is my section, brother. And then Quentin Nelson, Pro Football Focus, some okay, PFF, #1 top AFC O lines. This is
I
Maybe
it,
2 years ago.
No, so this is recent too. I looked this up because I couldn't believe it either. Because I thought with Anthony Richardson last year getting injured, he hurt his shoulder, but he hurt his shoulder running, and
Yeah.
it's just 'cause he's a big dude. He tried to be more like Cam Newton, but like, dude, I don't know. He's can't close to Cam Newton size, but he's not Cam Newton size, and it these guys will still hit the shit out of you, and so he puts his head down and gets hit, and that's how he got injured, hurt his shoulder. So it wasn't the offensive line necessarily that was bad, and they still won some games that were really questionable last year. With I forgot Joe Flacco, he almost made
Minshew.
him a playoff run, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, this team isn't horrible, and if the O line possibly, I don't know. I know two players on it. I know their center, and I know Quentin Nelson, and I think it's something Ryan, that their center was. But I know they're good. They've always been a good defense
And
offensive.
they had Gardner Minshew last year.
Yeah. So they're offensive wise. I think they're sleepers. I think
Yeah,
this
they could be good.
it's because they
It's
still have
really going to be on Richardson.
Yeah, what can he do? Can he be a good like can has he learned in the offseason how to like not because Lamar was a special talent where he knew how not to get hit, but Richardson's a big kid, so he just ran into people. But you got to go in the NFL. These linebackers are bigger.
And remind me, Jonathan Taylor didn't play all the games last year. So
No.
that's another big thing. You get him back healthy. I mean, this team can be good. It's like everything. It's always about injuries. It's like weird things. So like this is all pre-focused. This team could literally be a one of those like sleeper teams that come up, make a wild card run, or even a divisional run if they can beat Texans. But the problem with them,
Their defense.
there you
We
go,
don't know
Alex.
what that's
I
going
set you
on.
up, buddy. Let's
Thank
go.
you. Thank you. Their DBs and linebackers are questionable at best. Their line is going to be what carries them. They got the UCLA guy, Latu. I don't know how to say it.
Latu is what Cypress.
Latu. Okay,
Yes.
perfect. I was close. I was trying.
You were up.
A lot of vowels. It's crazy to say. Um, but I remember him playing at UCLA. That guy can rush the quarterback. That guy's crazy. Guy's athletic. Guy's fun. We'll see what happens with their offense. Isn't Shane Steichen their
Yes.
coach? Yeah, that guy
Mhm.
funny as can be. Gives one of the wildest pre-game speeches. There's like no emotion behind him sometimes. And we'll see.
Oh man. For sure. I think they're when I was looking at their linebackers, defensive backs, I was like, I don't even know any of these guys, dude. Like I know a couple of them here or there. But I just was like trying to figure out anything about them because I don't know much about the Colts. They're in a division I don't really care about. And just trying to look up
They
stuff.
haven't been worth caring about themselves
Since Peyton.
Yeah. So it was just interesting. I
since
know
Andrew Luck.
they re-signed Butner in the offseason, who we know is super. I don't know if they re-signed him, but they have him at defensive
Yeah.
tackle. He's a stud, right?
They're,
He'll help out with the line, and you add those edge rushers. But like, I mean, if you go against the Texans, and the Texans have all these weapons at wide receiver, I mean, you're kind
you
of
can need
fucked.
someone to cover them. And it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, you can take these but like once again, this is the team that has no pressure. They are gonna go 4 and whatever. They're gonna go 5 and whatever. So if they have a crazy if they like they're not in a pressured situation to like be, oh, I've got to be a lockdown corner. It's like, hey, you can make those leaps, those tries to like make our team a little better. And like, it worked out for Bland last year. Like he was given that like, hey, do it, like go. We're not really our DBs now are kind of just there, and look what he was able to do. Not saying that they're the like the stature of him, but they have that no expectation factor on them, so they might just play their heart out and just be able to do something.
I think they get one star-studded talent in the back, whether it's linebacker or defensive back, and then maybe some mediocre people through some trades for the trade deadline.
Yeah,
They could be really good, or they just wait next year and do that too. Who knows? Like it's up in the air.
they're still in a rebuild season. They're banking on Richardson. They're trying to protect him. They're trying to give him weapons, and then maybe they'll go in the off season next year and grab some good defensive players. And who knows? They could be good. They always and it's in division, so no matter everybody knows that in division they're going to be hard to play. It doesn't matter if they are trash teams; they're hard to play.
Yeah.
And let's move on to the team that has one of the worst signings because he's not going to be great and he's horrible, not horrible, but has not lived up to expectation. Trevor Lawrence with a
Yeah.
$275 million
What team
extension.
is this, Alex?
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Thank you,
Thank
brother. I
you.
appreciate
Yeah,
you.
100%. They just have they've since their creation, they have been had these random high expectations, and I don't know what it is about the Jaguars that it's so appealing, but they just have these weird like high expectations to always win the division, and like the talent just hasn't met that always. Blake Bortles did it with them, and then they got the second coming of Jesus for the football world and Trevor Lawrence apparently, and he just hasn't been able to like put them over that hump. Um,
I
they
don't
went out.
think I don't think he deserved the contract he got.
That's what
No.
I'm saying. But it's like if you didn't give it to him, some other team would have. That's the problem.
But I think they still had time. They could have
Did
they
they?
could have made him wait,
he
and they didn't.
literally has okay. He was given Joey B money Joey B, although
Yes.
he's been injury prone, took the Bengals to a Super Bowl
Super Bowl. Yeah.
in his second year. So this guy has constantly been okay. He throws interception like crazy. Literally, he almost lost the playoff game because he threw 4 interceptions in the first half. Yes, they came
Crazy.
back and won that game, luckily because of him. But like they
Wasn't
could,
it 6 total and then just 4 in the first half?
dude, it was massive. I think something like that. I remember watching it in Atlanta, and I was like, "What the? That's crazy, dude! No way, Jose." But this team is one of those ones that are going to be decent again too. They're gonna play games. They're gonna do well. They'll beat you maybe a couple times. Again, this is another team that beat the Cowboys. Sadly,
Yep,
so
they have Christian Kirk, they have Gabe Davis, they just did they
just
resign
signed
him?
Gabe Davis.
They signed Gabe Davis, but then they use their 5th-year option on Etienne. I love Travis Etienne. He's a really good running back. So it's like they're set up on the offensive side to be a really good potential. They have these good names that people know of.
Do they still have Calvin Ridley?
No, he's with the
No,
No.
Titans.
yeah,
Okay.
he went divisional rival.
Divisional.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I think Doug Peterson will get something going. I mean, he's known to do at least
Yeah.
something. But this defense stacked up this offseason, which I think was huge, you know. They signed
Edmonds, which is
Armstead from the 49ers. I thought that was 49ers don't want
Yeah.
to pay Armstead. Arguably so. They have so many people they're trying to pay. They just had to let go of somebody, and that was their let go. But then they went out and got Terrell Edmonds, who he was the linebacker, right? Alex, for you guys? Yep. Okay.
he's like a safety.
Okay, and
He's like
then
he
Trey
plays safety.
Flowers. I know Trey Flowers, but I don't think he's been good in decent years, right?
So, yeah, he started with New England, then he was with, um, the Lions for a short bit, and I don't know where he went afterwards, actually. Um, he was at his best early in his career with the Patriots.
Hmm.
Yeah, the
Well,
defense is. I mean, like their defense is gonna be good. Armstead's an absolute unit up front. Edmonds is. I mean, when Tennessee got rid of Byard, they got Edmonds, and it's just not. He's okay. He's good, but he's not like this crazy like addition that's going to make your team better automatically. I think that they're just really relying on their offense, and then they drafted what is it, Brian Thomas, opposite of Malik Neighbors at LSU. So we'll see what happens when their wide receivers are kind of stacked, and like if Trevor Lawrence can't throw the ball to one of them, and then they got Evan Ingram as their tight end, right? Like it doesn't make sense how they're not going to be good throwing the ball, and ATN can run the ball. So it's just going to see if Trevor Lawrence can do it again, if he's actually worth the $275 million. You know, if he brings him a Super Bowl in 5 years, he's 100% worth the $275 million. Doesn't do anything, was it a waste? Anything else to say on the Jags?
Not really. They're not a team
they're
that
not
there's much to
exciting.
say about.
Well,
No.
let's talk about a team that's even less to say about, the Tennessee Titans. They are just the Tennessee
Accurate.
Titans. Yeah, they are. They are the Tennessee Titans. They went out and they have 2 good old receivers, I guess I would say, Hopkins and Ridley. They're not on the young side. So it's like they are, but then they got this really young quarterback in Will Levis. He had a leak on Twitter where some girl was doing something to his downstairs area. It was pretty crazy. Um, and then they drafted JT Latham. I think they were really hoping that Joe Alt would go to him, but the
Mhm.
Chargers were like, no, thank you. I was at the draft party for the Titans. That was really fun at the stadium. It was a good time. But the team was, you could tell, pretty up. Like the fan base is pretty upset that Joel got let go, and they got Latham, and it's not in a bad way. But Latham's good in their alt, but alt is going to be crazy,
Joel is special. Yeah.
100%. And so then they got your boy Tony Pollard. Well, I guess Chris's boy, because he had such high hopes for him and did nothing for
I
him.
thought for sure he would fly out of the nest after he
Nope.
was given the reins, and he did not.
And they got Boyd. They got Boyd. Like I said, this wide receiver core is just old. They got Tyler Boyd, they got Calvin Ridley, they got DeAndre Hopkins, and then on their defensive side, they had a huge signing in Ladarius Sneed. He just wanted the money. He already had the ring. He'll
Yes.
get the money. Like that made sense.
I
He
was so
is
mad. I wanted him.
he's gonna be a playmaker. He's gonna be good. He's gonna be good for that defense. And it's just can they do something in a division that's kind of stacked? They're kind of like the like last the like redheaded stepchild of this division this year probably because
Yeah.
they're just like the Colts have no expectations. But what can Richardson do? Trevor Lawrence has this crazy contract, so can he live up to it? CJ Stroud did what CJ Stroud did last year, and then you got the Titans.
Yeah. Well, and they this team also is again one of these rebuilding teams because Mike Vrabel and them departed ways, so they went and brought in Brian Callahan as their head coach, which is also interesting. So it's going to be a new system. New
Cincinnati, baby.
I like Will Levis in a sense. I think he's fun to watch, and I think if anything, it brings some excitement to this team. But
He's
like,
he's passionate and you're gonna hate this, but he's kind of like a Christian Kirk Christian what the hell Kirk Cousins, where he's super passionate. He has a huge yeah, I know that was really hard, guys. Sorry, but like he's super passionate. He's gonna win you some games in the regular season, but like, can he
Yeah.
get it done past that? Right? He seems like he's really good. Everyone loves him in Tennessee.
he was throwing bombs last year, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I remember watching a game where they had a fourth quarter comeback. I can't remember who it was against, but he looked really good. Going down the field, driving. He brought him in clutch time. It was like down to seconds that they ended up winning that game. But I was impressed by it. I was like, oh, that was really fun to watch. I do have him in. I had him in some fantasies. I think I have him
yeah.
in another one. Hopefully, he'll do better, and then I get some wins from it too. But this team's going to be one of those ones that we don't really understand what the expectations are because it's just a whole new everything. So we just kind of go out and hey, play like this again. It's like the Texans, right? Like good
Yeah.
luck. I don't know, but I think like the Texans, but not where the Texans were like completely young guys. These are a lot of old
Right.
heads with a young quarterback. It'll be really interesting, and I don't letting Derrick Henry walk. He wanted to go out of there anyways, right? He didn't
Yeah.
want to stay, and I don't think Tony Pollard is your replacement. But with Brian Callahan, who knows what kind of offense he runs, Tony Pollard could be a really good like receiving back because that's his frame and his stature. He's not meant for like an every down back like a Derrick Henry is. So it will be interesting.
I'm excited to see what the first like 4 games look like because he's never play called in the NFL. And so it's like it's going to be very interesting to see like what that looks like while trying to also manage the head coaching duties for the first time in the NFL while you've never called plays before. Like cuz what's his name? Zach Taylor in Cincinnati. He's the play caller. And Callahan
Hmm.
was just the OC, so it's going to be a similar thing going to Tennessee, but you've never called plays and you have to I mean, remember what's his bucket? What's your MCDC. He had the rough first year where it was like, what are you doing as a head coach, buddy? These are the things you need to know. I
Yeah.
wonder if it's going to be a similar thing, trying to call plays and trying to be a head coach. It's like it's a
If he
very
wasn't
hard
calling
task to do.
plays in Cincy, then I don't I don't see why he feels the need to call plays for the first time here. I
I
would get
mean,
a good coordinator that can do that, and you manage the team.
but he came from Zach Taylor, and that's exactly what Zach Taylor did. He didn't call plays, came as a head coach, play caller. It's like that's just what his tree is where he comes from. So it's like he understands what that looks like and he understands what that's gonna do. But it's just gonna be is he gonna be able to handle that first 4 to 6 weeks with enough like whereabouts to know what's going on all aspects of the field.
Right.
Alex, great job, brother. I love that.
Yeah.
Chris, I don't
All
know
Yeah.
right.
about you else. I'm done with this. I know you're so excited. This is the moment you've been waiting for, and we get to cover
Yes.
the NFC.
Everyone grab your tissues because there's gonna be a stroke off about the Lions for the next 15 minutes.
Oh, don't worry. No, not for the next 15 minutes. I'm gonna save it for the final 15 minutes. Um,
Sorry.
because I'm gonna go through this in order of how much I hate the team. And so obviously I'm gonna end with the Lions here. But I think overall, before we get into this, actually, guys,
We did
whoa,
not
we're
rank the
jumping ahead. We
teams.
did
Yeah, we
not
didn't
rank
rank the
AFC South.
yeah, AFC South. I know we're done with them. Top 4, go. Jay.
Texans by far number one, baby.
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm gonna put the Colts at number two. I'm gonna put Jacksonville at three and Titans at four.
Go.
I'm gonna go with that as well, actually.
I'm gonna go with I think Jacksonville is gonna be a little bit better than the Colts, so I'm just gonna switch them. Go Houston, Jacksonville, Indianapolis. ended with, unfortunately, Tennessee.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that'll all be like neck and neck, the three,
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 through 4, right? But one will stand out.
and I hope it's. I
Oh
hope.
yeah.
I hope for CJ Stroud's sake he does well because that'll be a rough year with what they added for you if he doesn't do well.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I think we should
All
pass it
right.
right on over to the second best NFC division.
nice,
Yikes.
nice.
I see what you did there. I didn't like what you did there because I would actually say that this division, I'm not going to say best or worse or anything. I'm going to say they're one of the most interesting divisions in all of football this year, just with
Very.
how many question marks there are. And like I said, I'm going to go with this from most hated to least hated as far as the teams we cover. So I'm actually going to start with the Minnesota Vikings. I know
I
what you're
thought you.
thinking. You think I was gonna go Packers.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta be honest, they're neck and neck. They're tied with that. The reason why I'm giving the edge to the Vikings is I actually have some respect for the Packers. And I think Vikings fans run their mouths like they've had the success of the Packers. And they haven't. They haven't done
Oh,
shit. They've been to and won the same amount of Super Bowls as the Detroit Lions. Actually, they may have gone to one, but I
talking
don't think
Tim,
so.
brother.
I don't think they have. I don't think they have.
Remember, they missed the
So
kick.
exactly, and because of that, I just feel like they have no room to talk. But yet, every single year, Vikings fans more than the Bears, more than the Packers,
Hold
love
on,
to run
buddy.
their mouths.
Before you go on, they have
Yes.
four. They have four Super Bowl appearances in the '70s.
Who the
Okay,
fight?
so they've been to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Never
The
won it.
Vikings. They've never won it. No, no, no. They have
Never won
four
it.
Super Bowl appearances. I think, right?
That's better than the Lions, right?
Well, here's the thing. If we're going to count appearances, then I think we should also count world championships
We
before the
should
Super
not
Bowl
count
era.
world championships for
Well,
Super
then
Bowl
we
era.
shouldn't count
There's like two
appearances.
teams.
I
We
thought you
shouldn't count
said. Well,
appearances.
the only reason that I'm saying that is because you said they've been to and won the same amount of the
I
Lions,
know, I
and
know.
that's where I'm correcting you. I'm not saying
Okay,
that
but
like
at the end of the day, we have the same amount of Super Bowl
there
rings
you
in our
go,
trophy
there you
case.
go, 100%.
They need to
Zero.
stop running their mouths.
Yeah,
And I also think they are going to suck ass this year. So let's go into it because they lost two big names, both on the defense and in the offense. Daniil Hunter on the defense, who I was hoping the Lions would get. We already covered. He's down there in Houston, going to
yes.
be scary. And then Kirk Cousins is over in Atlanta, which we already covered in another episode. He is going to be shitty. But regardless, he put up a lot of numbers for them. And now they have replaced him with Sam Darnold and JJ McCarthy. Now, JJ McCarthy, I do think going to be a stud. I'm very, very pissed that he's in the division, but I don't think we're going to see much of him this year. I think
No,
they're going to try and ride Sam Darnold as their QB1 for most of the year, unless he really, really sucks. So I'm not really worried about them in that aspect. After that, once JJ takes over, different story. They also gave Justin Jefferson a massive 4-year contract worth
yeah.
$140 million. And I believe that put him at like 33 or 34 mil a year, which is unreal for
He's
a
making,
wide receiver.
he's making more than like probably 10, 15 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
He's making more than anyone on that team.
Yeah.
Easily.
I mean, he deserves it 100%, but it's just a lot of money to tie up in
A
a
lot of money.
receiver. And just a receiver. And like the sad part about that is it's like he can be great, but if no one can throw him the ball, he can't be anything.
But he
Right,
did.
exactly.
I, he did it with Kirk, and we hate Kirk. All of us hate Kirk,
Kirk,
and
I'm not a
then
Kirk
Kirk
hater. I don't
does
want to put that
something.
out there. No, no, no.
But
Two of us
like
hate Kirk.
JJ is something different. Watching him play, he is the athlete. So like worth every penny. I
Yeah,
understand why they paid him all this. I mean, he is the face of their franchise. And the one thing that I hate that he got paid for is because now it makes CD's contract even harder. Where like we should
massive.
have done it before this
Mhm.
happened. It would have been over, easy. Now it just makes it more difficult because this is what CD wants. But worth it.
Way worth it.
All right, Chris. Sorry,
Totally
bro.
worth it. No, absolutely. We had to cover Justin Jefferson in that contract because it has, like you said, has big implications on not just CD Lamb, but also Jamar Chase and so many other guys' contracts going forward. That was a market resetting contract right there. But
Horrible.
they also added to their running back room with Aaron Jones, which is like eh, I like it, but the dude doesn't really stay healthy too much anymore. So it's like, yeah, he's going to be good when he's out there.
Yeah.
But how long can you really ride that horse for?
I
Before
like
we,
that.
Uh,
You did it
we'll
for a
see.
year. Hey,
yeah,
Yeah,
see
one
how he
year,
does. If
whatever.
not, next draft, you go get somebody. Get some
and
young guy.
7 isn't crazy for like a
Bet.
yeah, like it's not crazy for someone who's a proven good vet. You know what I mean? Can he stay healthy? Yes or no, but he's a proven good vet. And then, but like I think we talked about this in other episodes, but like the amount of in division exchanges that happen this year is crazy.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of in division movement, both with trading and free agency. A lot of people, which you don't see in the NFL, like this Brandon Ayuk drama. Like they're obviously not sending him to any team in the NFC. They
No,
want him in the AFC. So it's
no,
just
play us
crazy
one.
to see divisions
Mhm.
that are doing that.
But yeah, and
The
then
only other,
did
yep,
they
go.
because did Dalvin is Dalvin Cook gone?
Yes, he's gone.
Yeah,
They,
and
they,
then Matson's in Las Vegas, right? Is that how you
Las
say his last
Vegas.
name?
I
Yeah.
Yes, and
So
I believe Dalvin Cook's with the Bills.
okay, cool. Oh yeah, he was with the Bills last year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But it
with
was
his
it's
brother.
just yeah, it's weird to see like this the running back they went out got a vet, but then they didn't get like a. I guess running backs are those weird enigmas where you got them for 3 years and you're gonna get a new one.
Yeah.
hard to
Yeah,
stay healthy as a
yeah.
running back. You take a lot of the workload, and it's so funny. I think injuries back in the day, like they would gut through it. Emmett Smith, one of the best all-time running backs. Like I literally read a book where he injured himself in a regular season game. He like literally dislocated a torn shoulder, but he ended up playing for the entire game, the rest of the season. They don't do that anymore. You're hurt.
They
They sit.
also they also
Yeah.
played through concussions. They said I can't see, but I can throw the ball.
They
so,
didn't even test for
so
it.
it's. I think you're so right between the drama of the running back market last year, and then one they're always injured. That's why they talk. That's why they don't want to pay them because they don't think they're going to last those times. Is the reason why I think Aaron Jones didn't get a bigger, better deal because he is not proven to be healthy, and he's older.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Well, and this offense could it's already going to struggle with this new core and everything involving Sam Darnold and whatnot, but it could be even worse if they are going to be out with Jordan Addison for any given time. As we know, he is officially just today or yesterday they officially charged him with DUI, which I don't get. Like the dude just had like a college teammate die from being hit by a drunk driver, and then he
Remember a
does that
year
like a
ago,
week later.
he got charged for I don't know, it was misdemeanor for like reckless driving because he was driving like 140.
Oh, so he has driving issues regardless.
Yeah, every year.
Stupid.
It's a habit.
Can can
Great.
we have the NFL just like, hey, team, hire drivers so your fucking players don't have to drive. This happens too
And
much.
whoever the NFL hires to do that, they need to send them to Athens, Georgia to talk to that program as well because the Georgia players have very similar issues
I
nonstop.
on this is a random non, but it's like, how do all of these players have these random issues all the time?
Bro, it's
It's just
kids.
entitlement.
No, they're kids with money. They're
Yeah.
okay. If you were 23 years old and you had millions of dollars, I was acting stupid with no money. Can you imagine?
No, a hundred,
Money,
a
bro?
no, 100%. But
So
I'm not
true.
stupid enough
So
to
true.
get behind a car. You know what I mean? It's
No,
like,
not
Right.
not the DUI, but like I would drive.
oh, dude, I would drive
But
a little
I would do
recklessly.
140 on an open highway in the middle of nowhere. Like where, okay, if a cop gets me because I'm going down the I-90 whatever in the middle of butt fuck nowhere, Cool. All
Not
right.
pull a Hollywood Brown and do it on the 101 heading into Tempe.
Right, exactly. That's just asking for trouble. But
Yeah.
this team is going to be interesting again. It's a lot of controversy again with the quarterback. I think JJ might get in a little sooner because I have no faith in Sam Darnold. I
No, yeah.
just hasn't proven to me any other time he's been a starter. So I think JJ actually might get reps later on in the season that you'll be shocked about, and then you'll have to
Well,
be a fan.
I think 100% he's going to get reps because what's their coach's name? I always forget because he's like every other white dude.
Kevin
Um,
O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell. I was gonna say Kevin McHale, but I was like, that's not right. Kevin O'Connell is. There's no way that his job isn't on the line right now,
You think so?
I don't think
dude.
so.
Like, what do you? But like, this team went out and got this quarterback, and then it's like, is this guy going to be? If JJ is going to be your guy, is he going to be the quarterback for the future? Sure, he might have one more year after this, but it's like if they put up a shitty season in this division, like
Mhm.
say you lose out and you lose to the Bears twice. Sure, they're in a rebuild, but they are so new that like you go and lose to the Bears twice next year. Like that's why I say he'll play because he's like, I got nothing to lose. I might not be at a job in 2 years.
I feel like getting rid of Kirk and getting JJ, I think kinda gave him a Band-Aid a little bit to where I wouldn't put him in the hot seat this year, but you're absolutely right, next year, it's gonna get hot if they aren't good,
100%.
no doubt.
Cool.
Um, so I think that's all there is on the shitty Vikings. Like I said, not only do I dislike them the most, they are, in my opinion, being in this division, the team I'm worried about the least.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about them.
Yeah.
They and I'm not saying they're not going to take one game from us or whatnot. I mean, those divisional games are so hard. We could split, but they're not going to compete for the division like Green Bay and even Chicago might. So moving on to the next team that I hate, obviously the Green Bay Packers. And they had quite an eventful offseason just solely looking at Jordan Love, who
Yeah.
got a 4-year, $220 million contract. And we can basically say he got that contract for beating up the Dallas Cowboys because the first half of the year, nothing special at all. In fact, he got his ass whooped by the Lions in Lambeau week 2. Now the second half of the year definitely turned it around, definitely looked like you know, a starting quarterback in this league. That he looked like a guy, and obviously capped it off with an amazing performance against the Dallas Cowboys and honestly an amazing performance against the 49ers that they just couldn't get the job done. But to give this guy that amount of money when that's all we've seen of him, besides for one game the year prior where he looked like ass, that's crazy commitment.
This is what happens when you have a rookie that sits behind a vet in the like in the Atlanta
Multiple
situation,
years.
yeah, multiple years, and you have
Yeah.
1 year left on your contract, and they have to play that year, and somehow he still had 31 touchdowns or something like that. Like it was ridiculous. It's like, okay, cool, I guess, but it's like, who are you gonna go get? Right? You're not
Right.
that high of a pick in the draft to draft somebody who is in the market. You're not all the quarterbacks in the market didn't really like. It's like Jordan Love or the quarterbacks in the market.
Yeah.
No, they had to do it. They absolutely had to do it.
Yeah,
It's just it's a very rare situation to see. And so they're going to be so interesting this year because I won't be surprised either way. I won't be surprised if Jordan Love goes out there and tears it up and is great, picks up right where he left off. But I also won't be surprised if maybe we learned that the second half of last year was more of a fluke rather than the norm.
did they add any wide receivers? I know the wide receiver core was good last year, but did they add any wide receivers?
No, that's the thing
No.
is that he's still going off of everyone he had last year, except now he has Josh Jacobs in the backfield,
I think it's
which
a better running back than Aaron
it's a better
Jones.
running back than Aaron Jones, no doubt. But is that alone really going to put you over the edge? I don't know. I
Do
do
they
like
still
Josh Jacobs
do
though.
they still have Quadzilla?
Yes.
Yes, yes. They kept Quadzilla, got rid
AJ.
of Aaron Jones.
Dude, AJ Dillon, such could be such a good running back, but like,
Yeah, he's a third down power back. He's gonna get you in the goal.
Yes.
Like
mhm,
that's
He'll
what
never be your main back.
nope. But yeah,
That's
Josh, and he's been had a quiet, great 4 seasons on the Raiders.
To be honest, I don't get why the Raiders got rid of him. Why they didn't feel like they should pay him. Like maybe it's just the part of the rebuild. They're like, why are we going to pay a running back when we need a rebuild? But like, I didn't think that they needed such a drastic rebuild um,
And I don't know what his contract
to
was,
do
but
that.
they're not really paying a quarterback. They're not really paying a lot of guys.
They
Sure,
paid Devontae.
and Max Crosby, but it's like
Yeah, Max Crosby got a massive one. Yeah,
besides those two people, you're not paying a crazy amount of money for anybody else really.
Well, I think you guys think about it like this too, right? It wasn't their decision at this point. He was signed on the offseason, so he went off to find somebody different. And because he didn't get paid the year before,
yeah.
he
Well,
was
that's
a
what I'm saying. They screwed it up for years now.
yeah. And players are nowadays they're so what's the word?
Not loyal.
They're not
But
loyal, but like they
both
also
sides are not loyal.
they get if they feel like they're unjust, they now hate you. They're spiteful. Thank you.
Yes.
Right. And so he's spiteful maybe of the Raiders and not paying him, not giving the money because he's like, well, you drafted me, you hoped for all this, now I'm doing this, and it's not enough. You still won't pay me this much. Then another team goes, hey, we'll pay you this. He goes, all right, peace out. I'm gonna go over there. I don't blame him, but I also think it's one of those things where he just has spite against the Raiders, so he wants to go somewhere else that can win, and this team made it further in the playoffs than the Raiders even got. So this is also a better position for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good for him. I mean, go to a better team.
The Packers are just
And
I don't know how they do it. They have nobody. Like they have Christian Watson and Jalen Reed as their wide receivers. Like their top two.
And uh, I don't know how you say his last name. It's like Doubs or something like that.
Oh,
That guy,
Dubs.
Something like that. He was a
He
pretty
did
good
a good
three. He's a
job.
pretty good 3 or 4.
Yeah,
Like they have some
but they
good
were
young.
sneaky. They were one of those ones that we didn't think were actually going to be that good. Like their whole
Yeah,
offense was sneaky. Packers were one of those teams last year where no one kind of really understood what was going on or what Jordan Love would look like, how this receiving core would do without Aaron Rodgers. They thought they would like fail and falter, and they actually did better than what they hoped. And then they're hoping that they can just ride that train again this year.
yeah,
yep.
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
we beat the shit out of the Cowboys, and it was embarrassing and good. I hope the Cowboys either did one of two things. They either made the second coming of Jesus and Jordan Love, and the Packers will always have a good quarterback, or they falsified this, made him look so good. We just decided to lose
Yeah.
it for it, right? And then the Packers are going to sink their money into something, and they're just going
Now
to
they're
be
going to
here
be
for a
bad.
couple years. Let's hope.
Gosh, I hope that's the case. That would
Me
be
too.
amazing.
Okay. What
And you're
about
welcome. We sacrificed that playoff loss for you.
what about the defense? They do anything over there?
So they did add Xavier McKinney and they re-signed Kenny Clark, who's always been pretty good. Their defense was not really an issue for them most of the year. Even when they were struggling early on in the year, the defense was actually pretty good. They've always had a well-run defense over there, but nobody on that defense is really
One person,
jumping out at you except for
you know
oh
it.
my god, why am I blinking on his name? He's a
The
Michigan
trash
boy.
talker. I hate that he talks so much trash, and he's good, but I don't think he deserves that much. It's Jair
I'm
Alexander.
totally picturing him.
Jair Alexander.
Him. Yes. Yes, he does talk a lot of shit
He does.
and
Who are you
does
thinking?
things. I was thinking of my guy from Michigan who's on the defensive line. Rashawn Gary. I don't know
Okay,
why it took me so long to
Gary.
think of
I
him.
forgot about him too.
Um,
Yeah,
Xavier McKinney, awesome. Like, good for them for going out and get that.
yes. Yeah.
Counter to that, the New York Giants should never do Hard Knocks ever again because they have looked so bad this whole fucking season about it.
Yes.
well,
Like the GM should be in the hot seat just from that.
for
Oh
sure.
my
Good
gosh,
luck to the
dude.
Packers,
It's
man.
crazy.
Chris, I got two teams. I'm really excited to get through these ones. These next two I think are exciting,
Yes.
and fun. So take it away, please.
So obviously we're going to go next to the Chicago Bears, the team that I've always said if you put a gun to my head and I had to root for someone else in the division, they would be who I'd pick because I can't stand the other two that much
I'd
more.
let it go off.
So And I absolutely love Justin's opening line in this outline. So I'm just going to read it verbatim. The new Chicago Bears, led by the nail painter himself, Caleb Williams. I love that. Yeah, this team obviously had a lot of will they, won't they regarding Justin Fields before the draft. I think everyone, I mean,
Oh,
it felt obvious they were going to go for Caleb Williams, but there
yeah.
was the chance that they may stick with him. But I think we all kind of knew what was going to happen. So they
Yep.
shipped Justin Fields over to the Steelers and picked up
Woo-woo.
Caleb Williams to be their new QB1. They also added DeAndre Swift, which I'm a little nervous about, but at the same time, I trust our run defense, and DeAndre Swift does not play like he has that dog in him, and he will not. I'm sorry, this is the fact. And he also needs to stay healthy. So it's a
Yes.
great pickup, but not their best pickup. Their best pickup by far was getting Keenan Allen,
Yeah.
another weapon for Caleb Williams, that who can lead that running back room with DJ Moore. That's a
Wide,
scary duo,
wide
except
receiver room. It's okay.
what did I say?
Running back room.
Running
It's
back.
okay
Oh,
though.
I'm so sorry. Yes, wide receiver room. So sorry. And just that duo alone is scary, except they also added one of the best receivers in this rookie class in Romo Dunze. I mean, Caleb
So
Williams
good.
could not be set up any better, except for the fact that their O line still needs a little more work. Obviously, that's probably something they'll work on over the next few seasons, but that is easily their weakest point on the offense because everywhere else should be stacked with talent. Obviously,
Who's their
Caleb's going to be a question mark because we haven't seen him in the league, but he should be a guy.
and their tight end is who again?
Him.
Yeah, Cole Kmet.
Yeah, he's still. It's like there. He has endless amounts of talent around him.
The thing that I
Yeah,
think should is even last year they had some talent and they still did nothing. I hope
right.
this team went out and just made some changes that I thought were awesome. Talking about the Justin Fields, Caleb Williams stuff, A, kind of annoying. B, why did you just take so long to do what you already knew you were going to do? Why they? It was almost for the publicity, is what they dragged it out because damn, dude, it was obvious. Then it was like, wait a second, are they going to do it? What would they do here? And I think at one point they even thought they were just going to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. right with the number 1 pick and just go get another wide receiver for him. But uh,
That would have been nuts.
who knows? I'm not.
Crazy.
I'm biased. I do not like the personality of Caleb Williams just from what I hear, what I see when he loses, the just the attitude
$25.5 million signing
right now.
bonus.
Now he's telling
Crazy.
everybody to pick up trash in the locker room, and you see players already get mad
Wait, are
about
you
it.
serious?
Yeah, because like, okay,
That's a real thing?
they were leaving it messy, and he just said, "Hey, pick up your shit," like, which is cool
That's part of being a leader, I
for
guess.
sure, but still, like, he's just always in these headlines. He's good for the Bears, but the Bears are historically one of the worst like they can't draft quarterbacks. They can't even get a good quarterback in their system. They've never had a 4,000 yard passer. They've
No.
done it like what are they going to do? What is this guy going to be different? Is this going to be the guy that changes Chicago sports?
Yes, sir.
I mean, he's labeled as the potential
Like
to be
it
that. Absolutely.
everything they're saying about him 100%. It's just, is he gonna let his ego not get in the way of trying to actually have a winning culture and a winning team? The Bears seem to like him. Like the players seem to like that he's trying to be a leader, seem to like him.
Well, okay,
But
Keenan Allen, he knew coming here he was going to get Caleb Williams, right?
yeah,
Like, let's just be
Yeah,
honest.
for sure.
Like, and then Swift probably same thing. But this offense is fucking loaded.
so
This Keenan Allen will
The
be
o-
healthy just because he won't be the main guy.
yeah.
yeah. The only thing I worry about with Caleb Williams is the only guy in like easily the last 10 years to get the amount of hype he got coming out of college would be a Trevor Lawrence. I know Burrow got quite a bit too, but
You
I would say him and Trevor Lawrence by far had the most. Like when we're talking like for a year, like Joe Burrow came on that last year and
mhm.
then he became the number 1 pick. But like these two guys were talked about for years in college as yeah, whenever they come out, they're going to be number 1.
Yep.
And Trevor Lawrence actually played in the biggest moments in college football, won 2 national titles. Caleb Williams has never played in a big college game. Not once. None. He just hasn't, because they always lose just enough to be out of those types of games. So he hasn't
Mm,
had that
yeah.
kind of experience, but he's got the same hype. And then when you look over and see Trevor Lawrence, who obviously had a really rough first year under Urban Meyer, so a lot of people want to cancel that year out for him and not hold him to that and say he's behind developmentally wise. I don't know. I'm a little worried about
It's also
all the hype.
crazy that you go on that. It's also crazy too because it's like, yeah, Trevor Lawrence. At least he was a winner. Like we haven't
Yeah,
seen like Caleb Williams is he's led these teams to average records, and he's
yeah.
had like
USC
his
has not been anything whatever.
They're
Like,
better, but not the best, and they're not what
yeah.
a championship guy would do for you.
yes.
I'm just excited to see what he does. I guess I'm just excited to see how the NFL game because everyone says it's different. How the NFL game treats him, what it feels like, what it looks like in his, and what he can do with an absolute stacked offense. I mean, is his defense any good?
So moving on to his defense, they have made some moves. They signed Jonathan Owens, who we all know we've been seeing at the Olympics these past couple weeks or almost couple weeks because he is married to arguably one of the greatest Olympians
Not
of all time.
arguably one of the greatest gymnasts. Oh, I thought you were going to say gymnast. She's the
Oh,
greatest gymnast
gymnasts,
ever.
absolutely, absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. I but Olympians, I mean, you got Michael Phelps, Mark Spitz,
Michael
different things.
Phelps is the greatest Olympian of all time.
Yes. So that's a cool pickup, but
Facts.
like and he is good, but like if you think about it, he's been missing some pretty important time to be on a new team and adjust to the scheme and
Yeah.
all that. So it's a little interesting. We'll see how he adjusts when he comes back. Then you got Kevin Byard. I always struggle with his last name. I
Kevin
want to say
Byard,
Bird.
dude. Yeah, dude,
Um,
Byard, what an absolute
Great pickup.
no.
Oh,
What?
what? This is awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was a great move by
Oh,
them.
Alex doesn't like him because he went from Tennessee to the Eagles, then drive. It's like a home inch thing, maybe.
Oh, okay, I see.
Personal.
So forget Alex's opinion on that. Justin and I are right in that that is a great pickup for them. So they signed him to
We'll see.
a 2-year deal, and then obviously last year late at the trade deadline they traded for Montez Sweat, another guy who wanted the Lions to go and get. I forget what they had to give up for him. I think they had to give up a first. I think they gave up one of their first. So maybe maybe it was a little too much. They also re-signed Jalen Johnson, who is pissed that he is off the top 100 players list going into this year when Aaron Rodgers was on it, only playing 4 snaps. So he's going to be out there playing with a vengeance. I know that there was some question marks with whether or not he would still be on the team because they franchise tagged him last year. Seemed like
Second
they were
round
dragging on a
for
deal. They finally gave him a huge deal, 4 years, 76 mil. So well
crazy. It,
deserved.
it
Great
was a
player.
sec it was a second round for Sweat.
Second round, I would have done that.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right.
Woo!
Are we done with
I'm
the
I'm done.
Chicago Bears?
bro.
I'm done. I'm ready to hear everybody 15 minutes. If you want to hear about the Lions, stay. If you don't, skip to the end. Oh,
Well, I don't want to blow smoke up your ass here, guys, but we're about to be talking about the absolute greatest team in this division. Oh, my fan is ruining my smoke effect. That's okay. I'll shut it off before I set off the smoke detector because Charlie is in bed. Um, but this is the hottest team in the division. In fact, this is the hottest offense we've seen in football since the Lingerie Football League. Okay. I mean, these guys are going to slay this year. I'm so excited. So let's just get right into it. What did the Detroit Lions do this offseason? Well, they targeted their weakest point on their team by far, the secondary. Secondary absolutely cost us a trip to the Super Bowl. 100%. Oh, what? You don't
I'm not
agree?
saying like
Oh,
no,
we
yeah,
didn't
like
say anything. Just keep going.
I'm just
You're good.
saying.
Oh,
That's
okay. Sorry. I would say that the secondary is what cost us that game.
Cool.
So we went out and we got Carlton Davis Jr. the third, who is a Super Bowl champion with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was a great corner for them. Why are you guys laughing at me? I can't just be excited.
Junior the third. It's just the third.
It's just the third,
Well,
bro.
obviously he has to be a junior if he's the
The
third,
junior,
though.
junior.
Yeah, he's junior, junior. That's what I'm going to call him on this podcast going forward. Junior, junior. So I'm
Davison
super
Jr.
excited about
Jr.
junior, junior. I think he is going to replace a very poor position that was held by Cam Sutton, who we got rid of. So glad to see that bum ass go.
I'm not.
I think, yeah, because you had to pick him back up. Except he's not even going to play most of the
Yeah,
season
no.
for you. So we got him. We also got Amik Robinson to play back there as well. On top of obviously drafting with our number one pick, Terry Arnold, and we got another rookie that I was super excited about. Oh, Ennis Rakestraw, um, who I had no idea anything about him when we got him. Looked up his highlights, fell in love, and he's been picking off Goff and Bridgewater and Hendon Hooker left and right at camp so far. So super excited about that. Our
Yeah, man.
secondary was so atrocious. We needed to throw everything at it. So I love that we have so many new guys back there. But we also went after the line. So we got Marcus Davenport. He's older, but very experienced vet, very great. He was awesome down in New Orleans. So I love that. That takes some of the heat off of Hutchinson, who I felt obviously we have Kamitsky, but like I feel like so much attention was given to Hutchinson. And now we have Marcus Davenport. And now we also picked up DJ Reader, who I was super excited about out of Cincinnati. And so now I feel like you're going to actually see more out of Hutch because the offensive line can't just like focus solely on him and double team him because you double team him. Well, what about Davenport? What about Reader? So this is awesome. We also, on top of getting rid of Cam Sutton, lost CJ to the Eagles, which you guys already know since we covered the Eagles last week. That I'm actually super happy about that. That's a addition by subtraction, I think, to the culture of the team. I think he brought a lot of positive hype to the locker room and whatnot, but I think he ran his mouth way too much to other players and to fans. And he was trying to turn this baby-faced Lions team into a full-blown heel. And it's like, no, 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 no. People have been shitting on us for so long. I just want us to be liked for once. So don't be an asshole and make people hate this team. Uh, so I'm kind of glad that he's gone because he also has had now multiple major injuries in his career. So who knows if he's even going to stay healthy for the Eagles. And then we made massive contract signings with three big names in St. Brown, Sewell, and Goff. All three guys I think needed to be paid, well deserved. We have more guys that we're going to have to pay next year. But I I love Brad Holmes and what he's doing to this team, how he's running it, because they came off a great year, the best year in my life, but they didn't sit on their hands. They went and they were like, we got to keep improving. So they went after the weakest part of the team. They added depth to other parts of the team. They re-signed Brock Wright, who was going to go to the 49ers. So we stopped a great tight end from going to the 49ers, kept him on our team, and he's a great tandem with Sam Laporta. They actually use him quite a bit. So I'm just super excited about this team. Obviously, I think they're the best team in the division, and I just really hope that they can live up to expectations again. Because even though they had a lot of expectations going into last year to live up to, I feel like going to the NFC Championship game and coming this close raise the bar even higher. Because now, last year it was just I mean, you guys heard me. I just want to win a playoff game. I just want to win a playoff game. Well, now we did. In fact, we won two, almost three. Now that's no longer what I want. Now I want to go to the big game. Take me to the big dance. You know, that's the expectation. And anything short of that is a failure,
And I
unfortunately.
and I promise you, we do a stream every year. If the Lions are in the Super Bowl, Chris will not be on that stream.
No.
For a lot of reasons. One, I might be there or somewhere else. Or in two, I might get the channel completely canceled and removed based on what I say during the stream. So that's obviously not a great idea.
Obvious reasons,
Um,
yes. I think you stroked them enough. I think it's our
Yes, I
turn to
did. I'm
talk
done.
about
I'm
them.
done.
Yeah, thank you.
Wait, hold on.
I think, yeah,
Yeah,
you good?
all
Yeah,
out.
you're good. Good. I think that Sewell was the best signing of the
Oh
offseason
yeah.
for you guys. Like that guy is insane. Like it's just ridiculous what he can do. Um, Obviously Amon Ra is in his own league, but Sewell is just an insane guy to have on your offensive line. Just yeah, that was
Football is
awesome. And
won
then
and lost in the trenches, so he is
mhm,
absolutely
yeah,
pivotal.
100%. And then yeah, the fact that Branch now can't is not the only one that has to do anything in the backfield or in the
Yeah.
secondary. Yeah,
Secondary, yeah.
the secondary. So it's gonna be good for you guys. I'm excited to see. A lot of expectations. 12-5 last year, right?
Yes.
12-5. A lot of expectations coming in. This is going to be an interesting season to see what they do with like high expectations. I think you're right. There is no other like path than the NFC Championship again. They're like if they don't go there
Yeah.
again, like it was a bad season.
It's a disappointment. Yep,
Mhm.
absolutely. Which is again a first for me.
Yeah.
Never in my life have I been like, man, if the Lions don't make it to the Super Bowl, this season's a failure. Like, I mean, that's technically how it is for every team to an
Yeah.
extent, but like the expectations are actually there. The hope is actually there.
For sure. Well, I think you guys had hope with no like you guys really you knew you weren't going to get there, and especially in your lifetime, like you've just been ridiculed in 0 and 16 seasons, two in this seasons, this and that. To be in a point where you guys are actually Super Bowl contending teams, and man, we always go back to this, but literally a year and a half ago, almost, you broke down on the podcast, kicking, screaming, crying about how pissed you were.
Picked a
This
new team
regime has
almost.
fucked everything. Blah 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 blah. Just like Matt Patricia era, and somehow turn it around, and then you were the happiest man ever. You were so pumped in the last season. They blew it out of the water for you. I hope they don't let you down because I really think this team has a lot of potential.
Yes, I think so too. And so I'm gonna go with my rankings real quick. Obviously, Lions are winning the division, in my opinion, if everyone stays healthy. Then I think the Packers are going to come in second. And then I think the Bears will be in third. And I think the Vikings finished last in this division.
I had the same list.
I have the same list. Because
Wow.
really, honestly, the only thing that can change is if the Bears somehow pull
Mm,
miracles
yeah.
and they're the best.
Yeah.
Which
I,
they have all the potential. If they can live up to the potential, they'll be just up there with the Packers. I think the Lions stand above the rest. I am so impressed with you guys from last year. I was worried last year to play you, but I knew we could beat you. And then this year, I don't want to play you.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm so excited for that game.
so
Do you realize how mad that team is going to come into
yeah.
Dallas? They're going to be looking for a fight.
well, you know what, Chris,
That's going to be a great game.
you haven't experienced a lot of winning in your life. So let me just tell you, when you're a winner, people coming into any game you play against you as pissed off. Ask Alex as a Steelers fan. Every time they
Yep.
go to your home or anywhere around you, they're gonna hate you.
They hate you
Yeah.
Well,
always.
the Michigan football team is a team that is pretty much hated by everyone who is not a fan. So I
And that's
do
what we're talking
get
about,
it
the
to that
Lions.
extent.
I
Yeah.
bleed blue.
Shut up, Alex.
And boys, anything else we got to talk about this week?
I think this
I
was
think
great.
that covers it.
Easy
Uh,
money, boys.
I thought these divisions were awesome. Good job, Alex. You didn't read script for script. You started, you said, wait. Let me have a little more fun with it. Proud of you.
Yeah.
And dude, honestly, Al, I've been impressed, bro. Your thoughts have been great today. Chris, same thing. Hey, you know what? You know we have to bring back
What's that?
the gold star.
I knew you were going to say
Oh,
that, and I agree. But also, I'd just like to call out Alex for also not call out sounds negative. Compliment Alex,
oh,
because he has replaced having Alexisms with brother.
brother. What up, brother? Yeah, so I think there's one thing to do after the gold star, but I don't think there's anything else in the podcast to do, but hand it off to McJam for the gold star.
So I'd love to give it to Justin or Chris, but I'm gonna have to go with Alex. Thought he really held his own today. Not too many Alexisms. Led the podcast, and yeah, really proud of him.
I would
Wow.
like to.
Good job,
I would like
Alex.
to
Proud
thank
of
the
you.
committee. I'd like to thank the committee for my first gold star. It's been a long season to not have one, and I think I really grew into my own. I'm excited to see what happens the rest of the season, and I can't wait for another gold star to go on my treasure chest. So I'm
I
excited for
predict that'll be your first and final gold star of the season.
that. Oh, I bet. Just like your team's going to be first and final out of the divisional games. Okay, so we don't want to talk about it anymore. So
Okay, we'll get there.
we've had some heat today, but what we haven't had heat on is loving you guys. So make sure you smash that subscribe, hit that like button, follow, come be a part of our gang. We don't know what we're called yet. We should come up with a gang name.
We are. We're the three Amibros. That is our
Yeah,
game.
what do you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but are
We
you
don't
gonna
know what
be?
we're called yet.
Are you gonna be an Amibro? Are you gonna be a bro? Are you gonna be a
No, they're the bros. We're the Amibros, and then there are Bohemians.
Bohemians? They could. Yeah, we've got to figure out what our
This is our
20.
third NFL season doing this, and you just said we don't know what we're calling ourselves yet. So actually, I take back my compliment because that was an Alexism.
All right, thank you so much. And if you haven't already, please give us a follow. We'd love to see you guys. Please interact with us. Christopher will love to hear all the lion hate in the chat. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
bring it.
And other than that, boys, nothing left to say, but have a wonderful night.
Hey, have
Have
a
a
great
great
one.
night, guys.